んばんは。こんばんは。こんばんは。セイターさん、名探偵のヒゲありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。ありがとう。寒すぎない？寒すぎない？寒すぎて今、ヒーターつけてますわ。ファンヒーターをつけてます、今。ちょっと、お部屋が暖かくなるまで。暖かくなったら消えるけど。寒すぎ。ちょっともう手が動かない気がして。で、防音室というこの狭い空間だけをぬくめれるっていう。もう暖かくなってきたけど、めっちゃ寒いよ。やばい。明日も寒くて辛い。だって今日とかさ、0度とかだったよ、最低気温。やばいよ。ちょっと今後ろすごい音出てると思うけど、どうですか？聞こえるでしょ？めっちゃ音する。ブオー。ブオー。音がこもってる。暖かくなってきたら切りますけど、ちょっとしばらくはつけさせてください。さあ、続きですよ。もう事件も4つ目 ?4 つ目になるんかな？あ、寒い寒い。で、まだ課題がない。アビー屋敷、そうだ、アビー屋敷に行きましょうと。お屋敷に行けますよ。行けませんよ。あれどういう話だったっけ？ねえねえ。手紙？手紙。手紙。机の上？僕の？違うっすね。ここかなー。どれ手紙、机の上って言うけど。机いっぱいあるんでわからないんですけど。ここら辺とか、机じゃないか。めっちゃ言われるんですけど。ちょっと待ってよ。待って、探してるから、今。これは違うよな。わかったって待ってて。ワトソンくんの机の上ってこと？ない。あれ？あれがある。ナイフ。作ったやつか。わかったって探してば、待って。もう言わないで。わかったってば。手紙ないって。バグ？ちょっと待って。マジで本当に手紙だ。机いっぱいあるんやってば。ちょっと待って、私の、探索能力が、やばすぎるってこと？これ。ちょっと待って。これが違うよ。わかってるんで、ちょっと待って。 それしか言わんやん。どうしよう。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ここ、あった。これだ、よかった。あった。探してなかった。
I can tell from Lestrade's handwriting that he was in a hurry when he wrote this letter.
なにこれ。
A wax seal with the monogram. The Brackenstall family coat of arms.
よしよしよし。そのままの状態に残してありますと。はい。はい。はい、わかりました。ちょっとその敬具頑張って収めれんかったかな。
Promising as always,
1ページに。
it appears to be a case of murder.
So you believe that Sir Eustace is dead?
I should say so. Lestrade wouldn't have sent for me for less. His writing shows considerable agitation, and he is not an emotional man. These people belong to high society. The quality of the writing paper, the EB monogram, their coat of arms. The crime was committed before midnight.
Holmes, how can you possibly tell?
Well, it is all thanks to Lestrade. He wrote his letter at 3:30 in the morning. Imagine the chain of events before that. The local police had to be called in. Scotland Yard was notified. Lestrade himself had to make haste there, and finally compose the letter he sent to me. All of that makes for a fair night's work.
It makes sense. Lestrade also speaks of the woman he released.
That seems to indicate that she had been held somewhere during the crime. Much time has been wasted. Let us find a cab and go to Abbey Grange immediately. I live in hope of an interesting morning.
アビ屋敷。遠いね。行きましょう。さあ。何が起こるかな。何が起こるかな。おお。屋敷。
Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson, here you are. I'm very glad that you have come, but
どういうこ
perhaps
と
I should not have troubled you after all.
And why is that?
Lady Brackenstall has come to her senses, and she has given so clear an account of the affair that there is not much left for us to do. You
語っ
remember
て
that
くだり
Lewisham
ました。
gang of
下さり
burglars?
ました。
What, the three Randalls?
Exactly. The father and two sons. It's their work. They stole a silver service, which is of great value.
Sir Eustace Brackenstall is dead, then?
Yes. His head was knocked in with his own poker.
A violent act of aggression.
Yes, the poor lady. She has had a most dreadful experience. She was assaulted and tied to a chair. But I think that you would best see her and hear her account of the facts. She's in the morning room with her maid, Teresa Wright.
Where is the body of the deceased?
In the dining room. We haven't touched it.
食堂
All
で
right, I'm going to examine it.
Very good, Watson.
エイトされたわけね。食堂どこなんですかね。お、写真。
Lord Ramsay Brackenstall.
ラムジー・ブラッケンストール伯爵。あんまり調べれんや。あ、調べれる。判定
Lord
が。
Brigham
ブ
Brackenstall.
リガム・ブラッケンストール。
Sir
Wartham.
Wartham Brackenstall. Lord George
George.
Brackenstall.
他調べれるものないかな。一個ずつね、丁寧に調べていかんと、見落とすからな。時計が。そこどこ？
Lady
あ、
Brackenstall awaits you in the
はい
morning.
はいはい。どっちですか？こっちでは外だよね。
Lady
Yeah.
Brackenstall awaits you in the morning.
はい。 おう。
Ladies, allow me to introduce
Oh.
myself. My name is Sherlock
Itaso.
Holmes. I'm assisting Inspector Lestrade in this investigation.
Mr. Holmes, I am the wife of Sir Eustace Brackenstall. We were married only a year ago.
I am sorry for your loss. Please accept my deepest condolences.
I suppose that it is no use my attempting to conceal that our marriage has not been a happy one. I fear that all would tell you that, even if I were to attempt to deny it.
痛々しいな。
Can you describe to me the events of yesterday evening?
Is it really necessary? I have already told Inspector Lestrade all that happened.
Yes, madam, it is.
I will tell you then. Sir Eustace retired about 10:30. I sat in this room until after 11, absorbed in a book. Before I went upstairs, I entered the dining room to fetch a candle and... oh God.
Please, go on.
As I approached the French window, I found myself face to face with an elderly, broad-shouldered man who had just stepped into the room. Close behind the first man, I saw two others. One of them struck me a savage blow with his fist and felled me unconscious to the ground.
And then?
When I came to myself, I found that they had secured me tightly to a dining room chair. It was at that instant my unfortunate husband entered the room.
He fought with the intruders?
Yes, I think he had heard them, for he was holding his stick. But they were three, and he eventually succumbed. One of them, the elder one, struck him a terrible blow with the poker. I fainted once more. When I opened my eyes, they had withdrawn. Then my brave Teresa came to my assistance.
Did these three villains steal anything?
Yes, I found that they had taken the silver from the sideboard, but you can see for yourself in the dining room.
いきますか。新しい傷跡。はい、話してる。青ざめた方法。だそう。オーストラリア製。豪華なドレス。結婚指輪。あと1個。お、なんだこれ。古い傷跡。
You mentioned that your marriage was not a happy one. Was there anything specific that was troubling you?
He was not a nice man when he was drunk, and he suffered from dark
よくない
moods,
ね。
but nothing else.
The bruises on your hands are at least 1 week old. Your husband
Mine no
caused those
more.
bruises?
Oh, do you? Yes, he did. He was very angry at the time. Out of control. Again. Sir Eustace was a drunkard. To be tied to such a man for life is worse than death.
Your ladyship?
調査。部屋を調べる。職業調査。はい、調べましょうか。なんかないかな。机。新聞。ランドルゲーチミの商売再開。強盗犯罪一家。3人、父親に2人の息子。あ、これか。これが来たんかもしれんってことか。 お、向き合った人この人じゃない？この背が高くて肩幅が広い。海賊業。怖い。
The description of the Randall gang provided by Lady Brackenstall is identical to the one in the Times article.
見たいちするよな。
A trapper's hut.
漁師の小屋。はい。
This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one? So the lady and her maid came from Australia a year and a half ago on this ship.
あ、もうここはそれだけか喋れる。あ、T がある。なんか怪しいもんあれんかい？あ、引っかき傷。
These scratches are most definitely made
額
by
縁
the
ででき
picture
たも
frame.
の？なんかすごい。
This is Sir Eustace's safe.
なる
There
ほど、
may
な
be
るほど。
something important inside.
金庫
I
発
must ask Lady
見。
Brackenstall to open it.
金銀財宝ザクザク。開けてください。
Lady Brackenstall, could you open this wall safe?
No, it is my husband's safe. I do not know the combination.
番号。
We have to open it.
なんだろう
Your
な。
ladyship.
テレサさん。こんにちは。
Teresa, I would like to hear your testimony.
Certainly, sir.
桜。
As I sat by my bedroom window, I saw three men in the moonlight down by the lodge gate. But I thought nothing of it at the time. Oh, if I'd known.
And then?
I went to bed, and it was more than an hour after that I heard my mistress scream.
頭を
And
割
down
って
I
怖
ran
い。
to find her tied to the chair and
え、
him
どん
on
な
the
悲
floor
惨な
with his
現場
head
なんや。
smashed.
前回も結構嫌だったけどな。いや、全部嫌か。よし、行きましょう。4つ。しわ。お、なんかないか。労働者の手。ハンカチ。巣の匂い。蘇生思いやり。汚れ。コーヒーのシミ。じゃあ、次は、食堂はこっちかな？はい。
You should examine the body of Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
周り見ようかな。
A fur trader's cabin.
毛皮取引人。グラス。
A decanter standing next to the open bottle.
ワイン。
An inseparable pair indeed. Chateau Calon
砂糖
Ségur.
カロンセギ
French
ール。
wine. Grand
グラン
Cru.
クリュ。グラス。お
This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing.
一個ずつ見ていく。
There is beeswing at the bottom,
お
as
り。
if the wine had not been decanted before being poured. This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing. It is rather strange that
インターネ
only
ット調べる
one
の
of
終わっ
these
たよ。
glasses has dregs of beeswing. So, Watson, what have you learned from examining Sir Eustace's body?
うわ
The head was cracked with the force of the blow. That must be the murder weapon. quite a
Combo.
large stick, a formidable
これね。
barefoot. He had therefore
Nice.
been in bed and did not have time to fully dress.
とは特に問題なさそう。お、なにうわ
It is covered in blood. Sir Eustace might have struck his head upon it while falling from the blow. That is one possible explanation.
よし。周辺は調べ終わっている。
A deer hunt.
写真。
A fur trader's cabin. The hunting scene.
ああ、食器だな。なんか銀食器が出てたから。
These wine bottles are expensive and mostly from France. These wine... This candlestick is
Very
valuable. It is interesting that it was not also stolen. An empty silverware box. It appears that the intruders have
何にも
stolen
かも
the
がなくなっている。
contents.
そんなもんかしら。はい。いや、でもまだありそうだよね、なんか。
A bottle of
careful.
wine is missing here.
あれが机の上にあっ
The
たやつかな。
criminals did not thoroughly ransack the house. They only took a little silverware.
おああ、くりつけられてたやつ
Sailor's
か。
knots. That's
船員
interesting.
特
This
有。
rope was handled by the murderers. We need a scent hound to follow
猟
their
犬。
trail. I will take
い
it
い
with
ね。
me. This is the chair that Lady Brackenstall was tied to.
時計は特に調べるとこなくて。他は特にないんかな。お、
The
写真。
hunting scene.
狩猟。フランス語だった。
A trapper's hut. A trapper's hut.
おお。V3。外は特に調べるもんないんかな。あ、小屋の近くにいたって言ったよね、テレサさんは。あ、入れないの？入れないなって。分析を行う。他にはないで尋ねる。今の証拠結構集まっているな。犯人が分かった。これつなげる。いや、まだわからんけどな。まず一撃にしといて。ランドル。まあ、まだわかんないよね。これは3人が3個のグラスワインを飲んでいた。これがセッコに他に2個のグラスか、そこはどれだけが入っていた。いやー、わかんないな、まだ。 これは違う。これ。ランドルに罪を着せた。ランドルに罪。いや、わかんないや。でもさ、なんかおあつら向きに、記事があるのもなって感じだけど。二人の人物。共犯とか。女の人二人の。とりあえずちょっと戻りますか。ちょっとどうかな、こっちで会話内で尋ねるってやつがあったから行ってみましょうか。テーブルへの3個。
There are 3 glasses on the dining room table. I was wondering if...
Oh, I forgot. When I came to myself the first time, each of them had a glass in his hand. They might have been a father and his 2 sons. They talked together in whispers, and then they left.
Your ladyship?
Please leave my Mary alone. She's so...
ってなるとこれ一撃じゃなくて魂事故で繋がっていく可能性あるよな。で、会話内はとりあえず尋ねたから、あれだ。これ。分析行うのは一回戻れんかな。じゃないか。あ、紐を調べる。
Let us see how the rope was cut.
はい。
The fibers at the end of the rope are
滑らかに切
smoothly
れた。
cut. Let us try to find out what tool was used to cut the rope. The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
ハサミじゃない。カッターはどう？
The fibers from this
違う。
cut appear to be different.
次他あるとナイフしかないよね。ナイフ。3択外した。お、スッて。
If I cut the rope with a knife,
お
it matches the
ー。
original.
めっちゃ切り味のいいナイフじゃないか。ナイフこそなんかこう、頑張ってこう、ギコギコしてやるイメージあるけどな、縄とか。で、ナイフでやられ、ナイフで切った。ナイフで切った。鋭利なナイフ。はい。解説男子、繊維得意の結び目で急いでしまった。侵入者の背景には繊維がいる可能性が高い。はい。ないか、特にないな、今。まだいろいろあるっぽいから。わかりました。じゃあ、ダービー屋敷に戻りましょうか。めっちゃスパーって切れて面白かったけどね、あのナイフ。いや、あんまり切れ味さ、良すぎるの、使うの怖くない？私だけかな。
A
まあ、
hunter scene.
はい。お、炉だな。
It
People
appears
know.
that the bell rope was cut by someone taller than me.
ほうほう。特にないかな。かは。床つれつれじゃん。え？なんかナイフになりそうなものないかね。
This door leads to the upstairs bedrooms. Apparently,
Okay,
the
I'll
criminals
stay
did
in
not
here.
venture there.
ここにないな。
Oh, what a horrible thing to have happened.
金庫開けなくちゃいけないんだけどさ。1893とかないかな。
Let us try to open this safe. This safe can be cracked.
何これ。
I only have to pay attention.
ね
The
え、正しい
dial
番
will
号。ダイヤル
vibrate
振動
when
性
it。is set to the correct number.
ないないない。お。今振動したのかな。揺れたけど。難しい。しばらくして。揺れるか？あ。なんぼで揺れるか。こう。そろそろね。え？あ、一個ずつやるんだ。これだ。違う。うん、結局わかんないやり方。はい。開きました。診断書。寛大症不全な子遊ぶ。皮膚黄色いのはやばいよ。あれこれ飲みすぎだってやっぱ。膵炎。怖い。ボロボロじゃんからな。 お酒やめようねって言われてる。お金だ。
Antique coins,
古い硬
possibly of value, but they're scattered without care. It is common practice to keep one's valuables in a safe behind a painting. It should not really pose a challenge for a criminal.
あ、金庫の捜索終わっちまった。はい。で、これ、あ、帰らないで。始める。奥さんに聞いてみよう。
Oh, what a horrible thing to have.
テレサさんから聞けるのか。私の未来、いや、そんなに飲んでないよ。
Sir Eustace's doctor speaks of his violent behavior.
うんうん。
Yes, Sir Eustace was an extremely
敬
violent
意を
man.
すべき。
A detestable human being
軽
to
蔑した
be
顔してる。
precise. It is true that he once threw
怖
a
い。
decanter at me, and all because I dared to stand up to him in defense of my mistress. Sly devil.
悪魔。
Forgive me that I should speak of him so now that he's dead, but a devil he was. If ever one walked the earth, we met him only 18 months ago. She'd only just arrived in London. Yes, it was her first voyage. She'd never been from home before. Wonder with his title and his money and his false London ways. If she made a mistake, she has paid for it, if ever a woman did. She doesn't have any friends here, so it was especially hard for her.
悲しいなぁ。ありえる話か。これで繋がるんかな。こっちに繋がらんか、まだ。あ、それないんだ。はい。
Oh, what a horrible thing to have happened.
あれ、なんかも調べでもなくなったくね？あ、あるわ。なにこれ。まあでも聞いたのにな。まだあるってこと？
Please leave my Mary.
Oh, what a horrible thing to
誰
have
に聞いた
happened.
らいい？ああ。警部か。
What do you know
Yes, that's
about Sir
an
Eustace,
old
Inspector? What was his reputation?
A charming man
あ、
when
いや、頭でき
sober,
た。
but an
26だ。
absolute demon when he was drunk. In such moments, he was apparently capable of anything. Why, once he splashed fuel on Lady Brackenstall's dog and set it alight. Another day, he
What?
threw a decanter of wine at Miss Wright's head.
The alcohol seemed to madden him.
To the point that we were forced to intervene several times to avoid a scandal.
これで聞けました。で、証拠増えたんかな。あ、警部の話ね。夫人に対して暴力的だった。まだ証拠が全然集まってなさそうだよね。ね、多そうだよね。多そうなんだけど。
Baron Lyndon Brackenstall. The Brackenstall family seems rather austere.
外も見るべきか。 ママ。特になんかあるわけじゃないんだよな。
A hunter's cabin.
じゃあ漁師の小屋小屋言ってるからさ、なんかあるのかなと思っちゃうけど。
It appears that the bell rope was cut by someone taller than me.
机とか引いたんじゃないかな。違うかな。
It is covered in blood. Sir Eustace might have struck his head upon it while falling from the blow. That is one possible explanation. The head was cracked with the force of the blow. That must be the murder weapon. Quite a large stick, a formidable weapon.
ここに何もないよな、あとな。
This door leads to the upstairs bedrooms. Apparently the criminals did not venture there.
あの小屋入りたいけどさ、外の。あ、なんかある。
Antique hunting weapons.
猟銃。
The Brackenstall family appear to be preoccupied with hunting.
上にあるパターンあるから怖いんだよな。こんな。怖い。1個しかない。なんだかな、全然何にも繋がってくれないんだよな。小屋さ、なんかまず入れなさそうだったんだよな。ちょっと見てみようか。入れたらどうしよう。どうやって入るのこれ。どないして入れるこれ。どないして入るのこれ。ねえ。いやー。小屋入るのまたパズル。パズルで開くんやったらパズルするかな。メダルが足りない。何が足りない？探索が足りてないんだろうけど。
I've searched outside for footprints without any luck.
a horrible thing to have happened.
Please leave my Mary alone. She's suffered so much, she deserves some rest.
でも集中するやつはね、集中すべきところでね、このマークが出るから、出ないってことは、あれなんじゃないかなと思うけど、使わない。
These scratches are most definitely made by the picture frame.
そうそう、多分ね、そうだと思うんだよ。なんだっけ、なんか集中するみたいな。先入観を入手何かしらの何か何かしらの何かかもしれんね。
A bottle of wine is missing here.
もう一回机の上調べてみるか。ワイングラスしかないんだよね。
Chateau Calon c'est a decanter standing next to the open bottle. An inseparable pair indeed.
これ調べるか。回転させれるってことは、特にないか。
There is beeswing at the bottom. As
しゃがみなかった気がするんだよね。なぜか。トビを連れてきて。あ。犬。犬。犬。見てよかった。犬、犬、犬、犬。取るって何？
come on, Toby. We need the best nose in the British Empire on this case.
耳なんか。
I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts.
かわいい。え？これ来てくれるんかな？
Someone should take Toby for a walk.
ここ来てくれるんかなこれで。はい。ああ犬。かわいいかわいいかわいい。
Search, Toby.
探すのだ。俺だ。なんか匂いを感じるな。 匂いの流れを感じる。うん。ふうふうふうふう。ふうふうふうふう。ワンワン。なんか勝手に間で。くんくんくん。ふんふんふんふん。ふん。ふんふんふんふん。どこだ？こっちだな。ふんふんふんふん。ふんふんふんふん。こっちだな。ふんふんふんふん。あ、やっぱ小屋に繋がってる。ふんふんふんふんふん。ふんふんふんふん。ここがワンワン。
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making
Gotcha.
off with the silverware. Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire.
へへへへ。まだあるんか。くんくんくんくん。あ、立ち寄った後もう見るんかな、これもしかして。くんくんくんくんくん。ほうほうほう。戻っていってるだけに見えるけど。ほうほう。なんか怖い。ほうほうほう。ほうほうほう。だって戻ったんやこれ。いつの間に後ろにいたのですか？怖い怖い怖い怖い。多分なんか調べないといけないっぽいけど、あ、なるほど。こっから立ち寄ってくんくんくんくん。なるほどなるほど。ちゃんとたどらないと見えないようになってるね。いいど。これやったぞ。
The scent
ないな。
leads to the well. I should check it.
まだあるわ。お、さらに。くんくんくん。ふんふんふんふん。ふんふんふん。お？どこれ。ふんふん。壁。
The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall.
確かに。
I wonder why they chose such a winding route.
あ、戻った。おやす調べたいね。見れるんかなこれで。あ、見れます。
This hook might be useful.
役に立つかもしれない。ここはあれだね。
Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently
動
moved.
けないよ。
Small gardening tools, nothing of great interest. This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty.
あ、終わった。終わりました。使い道を見つける。はい。次、井戸。怖いよ、井戸の中。
There's
Ah,
something
okay.
glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it?
取り外して。はい。 小さい小さい。あ、シルバー銀食器だ。
Silverware.
わ、
This is hardly a coincidence.
やばい。
The Brackenstall
Yes.
coat of
Ah.
arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware.
なんかおかしいもんな、だって。で、次が壁、こっちか。はいはい。いい子だね。どこにないか。お。見せかけたじゃないんかな。船員を見つける。家庭内の事故。でもな、知人に殺してもらったとかでもあり得るんだよな。まだ証拠全部出てないんじゃない？出たんか？あ、飲食器の方聞きましょう。全部紹介って確か聞けたよ、聞けるっていうかなんか出たような気が。はい、飲食器ありましたよ。
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship? We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed.
この奥さんが殴られたのもさ、結局旦那さんにお酒飲んでて殴られたんじゃないんかな。だからグラスがさ3つあったでしょ。で1個が直で注がれてるみたいな言ってたから、最初1人で飲んでて、あと3人組に見せかけようとしたんじゃんみたいな。ねえ、他のものを盗んでない理由がよくわかんない。あ、手がかりは何もありません。船員を見つける船員なんか見つかれんかな。あ、まだ聞ける人いるんか。通わないと。あー、これどこで検索。よしよしよし、調べれることは全部調べよう。
Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard.
魔法使い。
And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place, or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
で、そこで調べましょう。よしよし。じっくりとね。1193。あ、あった。女相続人土地とメアリー・フレイザー城。あ、これか。
Here it is.
ってなったら、やっぱ。
The shipping company, the
なるほどね。
Adelaide Southampton London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
専門家。よし。どうしたんやこれ。その住所どこや。ビギンズ。ああ、こっからだ。じゃなかったっけ？ほら。
Wiggins, would you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893 and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
3時間が来た
Here it is, Mr. Holmes. But we
すげえ
can't take it
なにな
back.
に
It's
危
too
険すぎ
risky.
る
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
I left it right on the table for you, sir.
はい。ありがとう。
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know
リエさんには
anyone
別
in
にはい
England.
ない。
This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor.
ほう。
And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th.
2日に11月7日。何言ってるのか全然わかんないけど。難しすぎる。
Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days.
何これ
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor.
11月7日に殺害されてるから、それに被らない人をあげていくと。ここにはいないかな。トーマス・ウォーカー。
This officer is still at sea, therefore
こ
he
れは
cannot
関
be
係ない。
involved.
はい。で、
This officer is
この
still
人
at
も違う。
sea, therefore he cannot be involved. This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
この人もだ。
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be
は
involved.
い。え、
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month
Tsuki
ago.
mai.
He wasn't in London at
Inai.
the time of the crime.
ほうほう。で、この人も、あ、この人か。
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in
え、
London
た
at
ま
the
た
time
ま
of the
選んだ人
crime.
が
This
なっ
list
てんだけ
shows
ど。
the senior officers
怖っ。
of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor.
たまたまです。
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him.
はい使ったかな。
Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
しばらくしてきたー。
Mr. Holmes, I was
Oh.
informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why. You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her from when I was first officer, but I still don't see.
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
And what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right if there was no evidence.
What then?
はい、マージョン。澄んだままの整列。頑丈な体格。新聞紙のインク。足まで行く。綺麗なブーツ。携帯ナイフ。
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
えーと。じゃあ、正しい答えを選びます。
Lady Brackenstall was tied to, and it was
You call that evidence?
yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night.
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No. There is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Now I understand why you dissected the bell rope.
お、すべての手がかりを利用しました。私はあの二人じゃないかなーと思うけどなー。避難することはできないと判断した。こっち行きたいけどなー。こっちで行きたい。
Ladies, I know the full story. You are both guilty, are you not?
Mr. Holmes, I can explain everything.
No, madam, he's bluffing.
It is no use. Your husband was a violent man, a cruel man. Your argument last night ended tragically, with him stumbling and falling, fatally striking his head upon the fireplace grate. However, your mise en scène to divert suspicion was unnecessary. You should have admitted the truth.
The truth is often subjective, Mr. Holmes.
Not to me.
What will you tell Inspector Lestrade?
He will find nothing, as he handed the case over to me. Farewell, ladies. Inspector, I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
はい。というわけで、合ってるかどうか。合ってないとか、これ合ってないのかな。合ってたら緑なんだよね、きっと。 難しいね。決断を切りますか。あ、でも見れないのか、あれだ。別の結末じゃないと、誰かわかんないんだ。見てみるか。最後がね、気になるよね。結局誰やったのって、あの3人、例の3人組、あからさまなやつだったのか、黒川さんだったのか。こっち見てみようと。誠実な目っ
Wiggins,
て
could
な
you
ってた
ask
から
Mr.
ね。
Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
直ちに。1時間も経たないうちに。
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I know, because of the height at which the rope was
そうか、
cut.
ナイフ持ってたか
The
らな。
knife used was a sea knife. The knots were sailor's knots. And not least, the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away.
身長高いよ。
I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear. And it is the
Doggy.
one that should be disclosed to
急に
the
な、
police.
なんか飲まってるよ。
I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
すごい。すごい壮大なんだけど。押せってこと？やばい。急にこんな、ちょっと待って、ゲーム性が。
Please forgive me, Captain Crocker. I wished only to test your sincerity, and your words and deeds have far exceeded my expectations. See here, Captain Crocker, we'll do this in due form of law. You are the prisoner. Watson, you are a British jury. Captain Crocker, the evidence shows that you acted without premeditation and used reasonable force to protect an innocent victim from her husband's brutality. Your devotion pushed you to attempt to kill yourself in order to protect the one you love. Now, what say you, gentlemen of the jury?
Not guilty, my lord.
Vox populi, vox dei. You are acquitted, Captain Crocker. So long as the law does not find some other victim, you are safe from me.
Mr. Holmes.
It is a great responsibility that I take upon myself, but I will give Lestrade an excellent lead, and if he can't avail himself of it, I can do no more. Come back to your lady in a year, and may her future and yours justify us in the judgment which we have pronounced this night. Inspector, I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
さーて。なるほどね。いや、だってもうなんか知らない流れあったもんな。これは、すごい結末でしたね。すごい。ね、なんかドラマみたいだったよね。正当防衛という、あれで行きたい感があるわ。行きましょうか、これで。よかったね。しかもなんかワトソン氏もなんかかっこよかったよね。すごい。キューティー、いや、よかった。連打でよかったね。なんか変な、そうだ、声援かと思ってびっくりした。続ける。民の声は神の声。羽音が。
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
嘘な。
Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers.
ぶっ飛んでんな。
Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
You have a new case?
Yes, but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of
植物の
plants
盗
at
難。
the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a minister who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides, you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, however did you guess?
For the great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft of plants. Come on, admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
はーい。というわけで、次は旧植物園。旧植物園最後の展示会から盗まれた植物を見つけ出す。だそうです。今回は殺人とかじゃないんだね。今回っていうかこれは、次は。あ、なるほど。旧そっちか。旧っていう土地なんかなわかんないけど。まあ、普通にあれか。なんとか動物園みたいな。でもあれも地名ついてることが多いか。やっぱ地名かなはい。やっぱね。次回は、旧植物園の事件を解決するです。はい。楽しみだな。はい。というわけで、1時間半もかかってない。早かったぞ。すごい早かったぞ。冴えてた。はい。1時間半ほど、お付き合いくださりまして、誠にありがとうございました。ね、結構サクサクでいけたよね。なんかちょっとこうやっぱ背景は合ってたなっていう考え方自体は。ちょっと細かいところまでね、ちょっと気づけなかったけど、まあ大体でも考え方としては合ってたなっていうのが。最初の手紙が一番時間か、確かに。はい。だけど本当に、お付き合いくださりましてありがとうございました。次の配信予定は日曜なんかどっかでできたらいいなぐらいなんですけど、まあ全然未定ですし、 という感じなので、また、来週分のスケジュールを、ちょっとちまちまと頑張って作って、ツイッターじゃない、X で、ポストします。はい。というわけで、本当にありがとうございました。良い週末を送ってください。それでは、おちふバイバーイ。